Hey there, I'm Kathy with the Traveling Homesteader and Gyroscope Farm, and today we're going to talk a little bit about emergency preparedness. And overall, in this channel, I've been trying to talk about emergency preparedness in kind of 5 different areas. Emergency preparedness being one, education, finances, food storage, and gardening, which also includes CSAs, or Community Supported Agriculture. And over the last year or so, I've been finding that I've been looking at different channels on these subjects to help me become better off, I guess. And what I've come to the realization is that having these things stocked up is a good thing. Having a to-go bag for me and my animals, my dogs or sheep, is rather important. But it doesn't take up that much space, and I can usually put it together fairly quickly. Having resources like these books to learn from and to know what to do when I need to use them is good. But also getting an education on learning how to do different things, whether it's, cutting hair or, changing my oil or doing something agriculture related. That'll help me maybe raise chickens or earn some money by cutting somebody's hair or, various different things. Having an education in some capacity to learn a skill or a trade, so you can actually trade or barter, that's a good thing too. But also to bring in income so you can have good finances, so you can ultimately, hopefully, if you plan it right, become debt-free and know how to take care of yourself in a way that you don't have to be a burden on others or have to rely on others for what you need. Like food and food storage, having things on your pantry really is helpful. So if you start small, maybe for 3 days, a week, maybe up to 3 weeks, with very little effort and following some good sales at stores, you can have your pantry stocked up in fairly short order. In fact, I've been watching on YouTube some old episodes of a couponing show that used to be on. I don't think it's on anymore, but it's kind of interesting to see how much people would get for how little money based on using coupons. But we also get to think of food storage in thinking of water storage. You can have water storage like in these big jugs, or in bottles, or all sorts of different ways. So having these different areas to think about for emergency preparedness can help you kind of become more prepared. Now, I put together also the category of gardening / CSA, because gardening is really helpful that you can help produce your own goods, but sometimes you may not have enough space, or maybe you're not growing the thing that you really need or want to get extra of. So like I have my garden right over here, but this year I got some extra tomatoes, and I've gotten extra tomatoes. I've made an abundance of tomato sauce, and I'll be making some other things as well with it. But that's where the CSA, or Community Supported Agriculture, comes in. You can get something from a farmer's market or directly from the farmer that is just about as fresh and local as you can get. Now, at any time, there could be a breakdown in anything we have, whether it's, communication or the supply chain or whatever. So being able to have all these things in place really can help you out. At the same time, I've also been noticing for myself, there's a lot of, you need this by the end of August, or supply chains are running out now, go get X. And I'm not liking that right now for me. I'm finding I'm getting more and more anxious. And my point with all of this is not to make you more anxious, but realize that little bit by little bit at your own pace, you can be prepared. Just make sure that you have your right areas laid out, and that you know what your strengths are and you know what your weaknesses are. And by doing that, then slowly at your pace, you can become more prepared. But realize it's not going to be all at once unless you have the financial means to be able to do that. But then again, you may not be able to do that. So remember, we have emergency preparedness, things like bug out bags, first aid kits, emergency things that if you need to go, you can be prepared, take this item and go. You have educational items like this where you can actually learn at something. You can pay to go to school, or you can learn things online or buy books. I even have a binder here of a class information that I took about learning on the land through my local extension service. I think it maybe was $30. So there's various different ways you can learn and get an education. You can also have food storage by stocking up on the things that you eat. You don't want to be storing things that you don't eat or use. Like, for example, if you can't have flour or wheat, you're probably not going to be wise to store flour for making bread. So maybe you'll go a different route in that area. But you may also want to store things like laundry supplies, your kind of a little pharmacy for anything that could help you when you're sick or not feeling well. Or like I just got these paper towels at Costco this last week. I've gone through one of these packages in just over a year. So that package will last me about a year with the way I use paper towels. So think about the things and how you use them. Maybe you don't need to buy things as much, like once a month. So hopefully these suggestions and these sorts of ways of preparing will help you kind of consider what to get and when. But also realize that there is a difference between prepping, being prepared, and hoarding. And the difference basically is hoarding, you collect a lot of everything, and you can potentially be living in an environment that is unhealthy. And we don't want you to do that. We want to make sure that you're in a healthy, good environment. And so that's what prepping allows you to do, is be in an organized environment that allows you to have the things that you need without necessarily being in excess. You want to be organized and able to take care of the things that you need. So with that in mind, I hope this helps you out along with the other shorts I've been making for Emergency Preparedness Month. And when all else fails, sit back, take a breath, and organize yourself. Thanks again for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day.